Okay, you're up first today.
I'm going to go with, I'll start with a not, and it's pretty obvious. It's St Kilda and their inability to travel interstate. And the problem is it's getting worse. They travel like a transplanted lung in an esky without ice. They just cannot seem to create the same pressure they do at Etihad. It is a bit of a mental thing. What St Kilda need to do to win games interstate is have the ball. There's different phases. We've got it, they've got it, and contested ball. And there's so little contested ball when St Kilda play. There was less than 80 total tackles in that game. When they play interstate, they've got to make the ground smaller. There's a technique to do it, they don't know it.
I saw the numbers on that. They average 72 tackles a game. They recorded 45 against the Suns. So, yep, spot on, not good enough. Okay, a hot for me to start with, and it's Clay Smith of the Western Bulldogs. Sort of got lost a bit in the win because it was such a great win, but 3 knee reconstructions, finally made it back. And it wasn't just a token appearance, Finey. He was terrific. He had 16 possessions, 6 tackles, 2 direct goal assists, one a pass to Tom Liberatore in that big period in the third quarter. And the other one, if you have a look at the replay back, a great extraction from a real cluster of bodies, got the ball out, and I think Lockie Hunter capitalised on that. More midfield numbers for them, real tough, contested player. He's going to be a really valuable part of their finals assault.
I just was shocked when he got picked.
Why?
I thought that he was a long way off playing still.
No, I think he'd had 3 or 4 back. So yeah. Anyway, great effort.
I've got to say, I look at the best in the VFL. When you see the name Smith, I just didn't think Clay Smith.
You thought Rohan Smith?
I thought another Smith. Okay. But I'd forgotten about him, a bit of a forgotten man in footy. And another forgotten man in football is my hot, and that's Tom Clooney of Port Adelaide.
Oh, yeah.
I'd almost forgotten about him. I mean, Tom Clooney got a game. There was a late withdrawal. Homsch was who's the defender they've got? Homsch?
Yep.
He was supposed to play
late withdrawal.
When I saw Tom Clooney being picked, I must say that I thought he'd been delisted. And he had a red-hot go. It was though he said, if I come here and just spoil, yeah, Homsch couldn't do that, I'll be replaced. So when he got the ball, he dashed. And you know what? On a wet night, in a wet game, he actually looked like a really good running defender. Might have some more footy for Tom Clooney now.
Yeah, I thought he was all right. They've turned up a couple. Byrne Jones is another one who's come through this year. So a bit of light amidst a pretty ordinary season for him.
And that's a hot. His tackle on Deledio in the second quarter, that just lifted the whole team because he had a first go at him and missed it. Then he got the free kick, and everybody said, if Byrne Jones is doing it, then surely, given he's the youngest player in the team, we should as well. I think he lifted the whole side.
Okay, my second one is sort of a combined hot or not. Now, the half hot bit is the final series we're headed for. It's just amazing at the moment. 1 team on top of the ladder, but now 5 teams equal on 10 wins. It's going to be that contest for spots in the 8, and of course the top 4 being pivotal. That's just going to be huge over the last 8 rounds of the season. Unfortunately, that leads me to my not, which is I think we could have more than usual numbers of ordinary games. Now, I did a bit of a stock take. There's 72 games left. There's only 9 being played between top 8 opponents, so we'll obviously be focusing on them. Unfortunately, there's 19 of those 72 games that are going to be played by sides essentially out of contention for the top 8. So I'm really hoping the Carlton-Collingwood game Saturday night isn't a guide to what we're going to see over the remaining couple of months, because we could be snoring our heads off by the time we get to September.
The one probably saving grace is Gold Coast actually were really good on the weekend.
Yeah.
If you're playing them at Metricon and you're in the top 8, watch out Banana Peel.
Yeah, the traditional spoiler role. Someone's got to do it. Okay.
Melbourne remain interesting. St Kilda at Etihad. There are a few teams outside the 8 that present a bit of a challenge. My final not hot is the 2015 trade period and what it turned up for certain clubs. What a bust for some teams. Yarran to Richmond, bump bow. Bennell to Fremantle, bump bow. Carlisle and Freeman to St Kilda, no games whatsoever.
There was another Richmond one, Townsend.
A couple of games. Redden and Adcock, you would have thought would have added a little bit to West Coast and the Western Bulldogs. The Western Bulldogs have been able to integrate players that you barely knew existed, like Biggs into their side. no good. A lot of them have been busts. Of course, we've got the two beauties in Treloar and Dangerfield, but aside from them, not a good trade period.
There's actually a conspiracy about Jed Adcock. I've done a deal with the Bulldogs. He will not be selected until people adopt the nickname for him, the extension. Been trying to get it going for years, just hasn't happened. We need more action on the nickname front for Jed.
And also those people that want him in the team, just yelling out his surname is confusing.
It is. Okay, final one for me quickly, and it's a hot, and it's Adelaide. Wasn't one of their best wins of a season against Melbourne, but the Demons really came to play, and it's the sort of game that Crows, I reckon, in the last couple of years probably would have lost. They've been good at sort of shooting themselves in the foot, but they really rallied. Great third quarter in response to what Melbourne did in the second quarter, and then the last quarter was really tough, and they held Melbourne at bay when the Demons came at them hard. I think the first goal wasn't kicked for about 12 minutes. They recorded over 100 tackles, so they've got that defensive pressure you're looking for. I think their defence is underrated. I think the midfield is pretty handy, and the Crouch brothers bobbed up again too, so that was significant. I think it gives them midfield depth, and their forward setup is the best in the competition. So they're very close to a top 4 spot, and if they get it, look out. I reckon there's every chance they could actually win the flag.
You bet. I mean, they've got that beautiful structure, but to quote the robot from Lost in Space, warning, warning, do not lose Sam Jacobs.
No, true. But he's not the only ruckman who a team would pay dearly for losing.
No, but Adelaide's the only team that do not have a backup ruckman. Luke Loudon's played one game in 8 years.
True, 8 years.
Step it out! I will turn you round. Turn you round once